I'm Sabrina, 18, but this video is 81.
Hey, Brinks and Sinks! Do y'all remember that movie Brink? Disney Channel original movie? I think I was Brink 3 years for Halloween. It wasn't healthy. Happy Good Friday! Oh my gosh, what a great day. And that means that just as clean as Jesus washed our hearts, Sweet Bear and I are going to clean this loft. Because it has fallen from grace. Done with cleaning. Now we're going to lunch at Chipotle. Chopping Grill. Okay, now we're home. Let's dispense with these frivolous activities and get to the point. Let's get to what you really turned this vlog on for. Ready?
Yup. Hi guys, welcome to Storytime with Sweet Bear. I'm Sweet Bear.
That intro is really becoming a staple.
And we've got a great show for you today.
That was today.
Okay, so the overwhelming question everybody wants to hear is my testimony. And I didn't want to answer this one, but I'm going to.
Why didn't you want to answer it?
I didn't want to answer it because, one, it's not like an amazing story. I grew up going to church with my family in the Catholic Church, and when I was in middle school, I started going to an overnight camp. I'm sure you've heard John talk about it. And on Thursday night of the overnight camp, the gospel message is presented. We call it Faith Night. And my first year there, I accepted Christ.
How old were you?
In 6th grade. So how old are you in 6th grade?
What, 11, 12, 11?
And that's the story. It wasn't like this amazing, I was down in the dumps and, this amazing story, but it was that I went to a camp and I accepted Jesus. And I've been living, as a Christian, as a follower of Jesus ever since. And I've had my good times and my bad times, and that's the story. And so I feel like a lot of people have that testimony, and so it always makes me feel inadequate when people say, like, what's your testimony? Like, tell us your story, because I don't feel like mine's a great story. But in reality, I think the majority of us have a story like that.
And I always try and encourage her, like I did today, to share that testimony, because she's right. I think the vast majority of people, especially people who grew up going to church, don't have some sort of I was a drug addict testimony. And we fool ourselves into thinking that if we don't have that kind of story, then God can't use us.
Yeah.
Or even to the point where you hear some people say, like, oh, am I really saved because I haven't gone through something like that? When I actually think that your story and saying, yeah, I came to know Jesus and I struggle each and every day in my ways, but I continue to pursue him, is actually really encouraging, hopefully, to a lot of people who have that exact same testimony. And it just goes to show that God can use that kind of testimony just as much as he can use the drug addict testimony.
Yeah. I just think it's like this kind of Christian hallmark of like, oh, what's your testimony? And it's like,
it's almost as if testimonies is like flexing your spiritual muscles.
Yeah.
Rather than it be about God's glory.
Yeah. And not that anybody that asked is thinking that. I'm just saying in general, I think it's so much about, like, I've heard so many people ask me for my testimony, and I don't know what the question should be instead. I'd rather somebody ask me like, how's a time that, like, tell us about a time where you struggled with God and where he taught you something.
I think that's a testimony, though. You know what I mean?
I know, but that's not what people are asking.
I think a lot of people equate your testimony with how did you first come to know Jesus? How were you saved? When actually a testimony is nothing more, nothing less than a testament to God working in your life at any point.
But I'm saying people say, what's your testimony? And they're asking, how were you saved? I'd rather it be like, tell me about a time that God worked in your life.
Yeah.
You know? Like, my testimony's still going. Like, it's not...
That's good.
People aren't going to like this because it isn't the funny stuff.
But I think it's encouraging, though. Yeah. Because I bet there are people out there who feel the same way that you do.
All right, guys. So that's Storytime with Sweet Bear. It wasn't very silly today, but that's okay, right, guys? Right? You still like me, right? But anyways, comment down below
That's down below.
with what you would like to hear on the next time in Storytime with Sweet Bear.
I'm proud of you.
Oh.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Now we're going to go to church. Okay, church is done. How was it?
Really cool.
How was it? Good. It was cool. They did kind of like Stations of the Cross. Really, it was really focused on the physical aspect of what Jesus went through, which was cool. I loved it. I love Jesus. Now we're going to pick up Emma, Air's sister, from the airport. Then we going home.
Then
This guy's wearing a sweet Superman shirt. Couldn't really see it.